Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. We are diving straight into an absolute blockbuster of a tactical matchup. Picture this. We're out on the sun-drenched Pacific Coast, Los Angeles to be exact, for the 8th and final time the 2026 FIFA World Cup touchdown in LA. And man, the stakes literally could not have been higher. We're talking a massive quarterfinal knockout clash. You've got Spain, the 2010 world champions and reigning champions of Europe, squaring off against a seriously formidable Belgian side. This wasn't just your standard game of football. It was a profound tactical chess match played out on the biggest stage imaginable.
Right off the bat, let's address the massive elephant in the room. How do you actually break a team that hasn't conceded a single goal all tournament? This was the monumental tactical hurdle facing Belgium. I mean, they were walking onto that pitch knowing that for an entire World Cup campaign, absolutely no one had figured out the Spanish defense. It completely shifts the psychological weight of the match before the referee even blows the whistle.
5. That is the magic number. Spain arrived in LA with 5 matches played in this tournament and 5 clean sheets. Untouched. Uncompromising. They were looking like an absolute juggernaut out there. When you've got a goalkeeper like Unai Simon, who hasn't had to pick the ball out of his own net even once, it builds this aura of total invincibility around the squad. Actually, it's more than just an aura. Tactically, it forces opposing attackers to overthink everything. They start rushing their shots or trying to hit that absolutely perfect top corner strike just to beat him.
What makes this matchup so fascinating is the sheer contrast in how these two teams got here. On one hand, you have Spain's totally unblemished cruising march to the quarterfinals. But on the other hand, Belgium. They traveled a very different, highly battle-tested road. Just look at the previous round. They broke the hearts of the host nation. They knew exactly what it takes to silence a massive, hostile crowd. It's the classic irresistible force meeting an immovable object. And the David versus Goliath stakes were perfectly set.
Okay, so the whistle blows for Michael Oliver, and we jump right into Act 1, First Blood.
Right from the opening moments, Spain didn't just want to keep possession, they applied relentless vertical pressure. They wanted to penetrate and ask incredibly difficult questions of the Belgian defense right away by exploiting the wide areas. Let's break down how this opening goal actually happened. Step 1, Pedro Porro makes this brilliant penetrating run out wide, finds a space, and delivers a really dangerous pullback. Step 2, Thibaut Courtois, who by the way was making his 21st World Cup appearance here, manages to parry it. But Step 3 is where it all comes together for Spain. Fabian Ruiz, who's brought specifically into the starting lineup for this game, proves he's the sharpest guy in the penalty area. He pounces on that rebound and finishes it. Spain forced the issue, created the chaos, and drew first blood.
Now, if you thought Belgium was just going to roll over and accept their fate, you'd be entirely mistaken. That brings us to Act 2, the Belgian resistance. The broadcast really hit the nail on the head with this quote. They found a crack in the Spanish armor. Think about the historic weight of that moment for a second. For the first time in the entire 2026 tournament, Unai Simon was finally beaten. The Spanish shield was pierced, and just like that, the Red Devils were right back on terms in LA. It proved that this supposedly invincible Spanish side was in fact human. So, how did they pull it off? Well, instead of folding under Spain's early pressure, Belgium initiated a brilliant tactical response. They extended their possession, moved the ball beautifully, and aggressively pushed back. It all starts with Kevin De Bruyne dropping deep to dictate the tempo. He shifts the ball, setting up a great wide delivery. And then, the climax, Arthur Thiat. He's marked heavily, but his aggression is just off the charts. He literally outmuscles the defense to get his head onto the cross first. It was a perfectly engineered goal, born from tactical patience and just pure physical determination.
Tied at 1-1, the second half kicks off, and it essentially transforms into Act 3, the Lamine Yamal show.
The game evolved into this intense, nail-biting siege. Spain had almost all of the ball, but they kept crashing into a resolute Belgian wall. The whole half was defined by this thrilling one-on-one duel, the ultimate youth versus experience showdown. On one side, you have Lamine Yamal. He's fast, incredibly tricky, using those silky hip shakes and that patented left foot to constantly try and wrap the ball into the far corner. On the flip side, you have the veteran, Thibaut Courtois. Time and time again, Yamal would find a pocket of room, cut inside, and strike. And time again, Courtois would make these full-stretch saves, just getting his knuckles on the ball to push it out of harm's way.
And this is exactly why Belgium stayed alive in this match. Fabulous stop, just really intelligent goalkeeping. Courtois wasn't just relying on his reflexes out there. He was tapping into years of elite experience. He knows the exact geography of his penalty area. No matter how relentless Yamal's creativity got, Courtois' positioning was absolutely heroic. He anchored a Belgian defense that was bending, for sure, but completely refusing to break.
Let's look at how this tension built up as the clock ticked down. At 60 minutes, Yamal unleashes that curling shot we just talked about. At 75 minutes, Belgium reminds Spain they're still a massive threat when De Bruyne brings the ball down on the turn, but just lacks the power to finish it. By 85 minutes, clear-cut chances are incredibly scarce, with Oyarzabal being desperately denied. As we get into those final minutes, the game becomes frantic. Every single possession feels like it could be the last of their tournament.
Which puts us right on the edge of our seats for Act 4, the climax.
The final chaotic moments of the match. The tension in Los Angeles is palpable. Survival for both of these incredible teams is literally hanging by a thread. You could feel that one single mistake or one moment of brilliance was going to send someone to the semifinals. And here's the defining sequence. It happens so fast. Step 1. Spain's 19-year-old center back Pau Cubarsí steps up and takes a massive, unexpected hit from long distance. Step 2. The ball skips, and the Belgian keeper spills the heavy rebound. Step 3. Guess who's there? Miguel Merino, climbing off the bench once again. He coasts in, totally unpressured, and side-foots the ball into the back of the net. Spain proves yet again that they are simply the sharpest men in the penalty box when the pressure is at its absolute peak.
The broadcast really captured the emotion perfectly. We have our Hollywood headline. It was an absolute heartbreaker for Belgium, who had fought incredibly valiantly all night. But as the final curtain falls on the Pacific coast, it's Spain who secures the 2-1 victory, a dramatic late-game winner in Los Angeles. I mean, it really doesn't get more cinematic than that, does it?
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Spain survived their absolute toughest test of the tournament. They proved they aren't just frontrunners who cruise when things are easy. They can take a heavy punch and fight back in the dying seconds. But looking ahead to the semifinals, can anyone actually stop a team that thrives this brilliantly on Hollywood endings? Keep that question in mind as the tournament rolls on. Thanks so much for joining me to break down this incredible match, and I'll catch you in the next one.